Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The time right now is 11:29 p.m. It's a Tuesday, 11:29 p.m. Central Time, quite late in the evening. I know it's late, getting close to midnight. In fact, in the Eastern Time zone, it is past midnight right now, so it's a new day. Um, and I'm starting this live stream quite late. My friends, my days are so busy, and that's why whenever I get time, I'll do a live stream. So um, I thank each and every one of you who's tuning in at this late hour. Okay, so I see Frank is here. Frank, good to see you. Our friend Frank from Florida, and our friend Evelyn from Las Vegas. Evelyn is here. So Frank is here, Evelyn is here. Two different parts of the country. So Frank is in the southeast in Florida, and Evelyn is on the western part of the country. So wonderful. This is what is so great about this community that we have. So great about this community. You know, people from all over the country, in fact, all over the world, tune in for these live streams. And we have Edwin, our friend Edwin, just joined from Kansas City, Missouri. Edwin, thank you. Edwin is in Missouri. Okay, so in the middle of the country, Evelyn says, we are diverse. Yes, we are. Yes, we are, Evelyn. Diverse in every way. We are diverse in every way. It's not just, um, you know, um, color or creed, but it's also about diversity of thoughts, right? Diversity of viewpoints, diversity of ideas. We are diverse in every way. But then we are we are together because we love this country. We are diverse, but we are together. We have a strong bond because we love this country and we want to make America great again. My friends, I am going to start um, this live stream to talk about something really amazing, something very, very amazing. Tell me what comes to mind when you um, when you hear the word grand. What comes to mind when you hear the word grand? Sorry, I'm adjusting the microphone here. Define the word grand. What is grand? A grand welcome, a grand entrance, a grand palace. So many things come to mind when we think about the word grand. My friends, Donald J. Trump, our 45th president and our 47th president, received a grand welcome during his visit to Saudi Arabia. Teresa is here. Hi, Teresa. So good to see you. Our friend Teresa from Arizona tuned in. Teresa, good to see you. President Donald J. Trump received what a grand welcome during his visit to Saudi Arabia. The people of Saudi Arabia, the people of Saudi Arabia have taken the definition of grand to a whole new level. So you think of the word grand, like what do you think would be included in a grand welcome? Okay? Come up with whatever you can think of, okay? Come up with whatever you can think of. A grand welcome. How do you make a welcome grand? Come up with whatever you can think of. And Saudi Arabia has taken that definition to a whole new level. They gave such a grand welcome to our president, who received that grand welcome. The president we elected with our votes, Donald J. Trump, he received that grand welcome. It was for President Trump, that welcome. And it is hard to describe, very, very hard to describe that amazing welcome that he received. Who's here? Our friend who joined? Gina is here. Gina, good to see you. Gina joined, right? Gina, you're here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I think I saw Gina. Gina is here. Hi, Gina. And so it's all over the internet right now. All over the internet. And the videos and the images. What a grand welcome. Makes me so proud. Makes me so proud. I cannot express my feelings in words. And you know why? Because all the arrangements, all the music, all the everything that Saudi Arabia did to make sure that Donald Trump receives a grand welcome. And who's Donald Trump? The person we elected. So you have to remember that connection. It was for Donald Trump, that grand welcome. But we are the ones who put Donald Trump in office with our votes. He earned our trust, and we are so proud as American citizens to see Donald Trump being treated with such an amazing welcome. I mean, if you have not seen the images, the video clips, please do it. Please do it. It's the world can watch Saudi Arabia, and it's like a jaw-dropping grand welcome. The Saudi Arabian people know what to do to welcome the greatest president in the world, Donald Trump. And that's the reason, that's probably one of many reasons why President Trump chose Saudi Arabia as the first country to visit in an official capacity after the start of his second term in office. And remember, this is not the first time that President Trump chose Saudi Arabia as the first country to visit after the start of a term. Go back to 2017, my friends. Go back to 2017. Okay, look at all the previous reports. Look at all the news from 2017. Saudi Arabia was the first country that President Trump visited during his first term in office. The reason, as I understand, is this. President Trump wants to build a very, very strong and lasting relationship with the people of Saudi Arabia and the Middle East in general. It'll be a relationship based on mutual respect. It'll be a relationship that will help promote peace. It'll be a relationship that will enhance mutual understanding, and it'll enhance trade. And I can tell from the events that we have witnessed during President Trump's first term in office, as well as now, that Saudi Arabia has tremendous respect for President Donald J. Trump. I mean, have you seen, and you can let me know in the live chat, have you seen the video that Dan Scavino posted on social media? I saw it on Instagram. It came from Dan Scavino. Dan Scavino posted that video clip of Saudi Arabian fighter jets. Our friend Rachel is here. Rachel, so good to see you. I see our friend Rachel, Journey to Justice. Thank you for being here, Rachel. So, yeah, as I was saying, that video that Dan Scavino posted, the video that shows Saudi Arabian fighter jets escorting President Trump's plane. I mean, it just, as I said, I cannot describe my feelings in words. Kushi is here. Kushi, so good to see you. And you know, every gesture of respect, everything that the Saudi Arabians did to show their respect towards President Trump, to honor President Trump, it's basically showing respect to us, the American people. Because like I said, we are the ones who chose President Trump. We are the ones who voted for President Trump. We put him in Oval Office. We voted him into the White House. And now when President Trump represents the United States during his trips overseas, he's representing you, he's representing me, he's representing the American people. So everything that the foreign countries do to show their respect, to show their gratitude towards Donald Trump, that's the same as respecting us, the American people, because we put President Trump in that role, in that position. And I was so emotional. Really, I was so emotional when I saw the video of those fighter jets escorting President Trump's plane. This is the Saudi Arabian airspace, and we have our leader, Donald Trump, in that plane, Air Force One, flying over Saudi Arabia, going for his first official overseas trip, foreign trip. And Saudi Arabian fighter jets escorting his plane. I mean, if you have not seen that video, you need to see that video. Just half a minute of your time, half a minute, just take out half a minute from your day. Watch that video. Dan Scavino posted that I shared it on Instagram. Okay, so you can type my name on Instagram, you can connect with me on Instagram, and you will see I shared that video in my Instagram story because that is a video everyone needs to see. Every American needs to see that video because that video will tell you what you already know, that America is back. America is going to be respected again. America is going to be stronger than ever before. My friends, check it out on Instagram. Check it out on Instagram. You need to see that video. What a grand welcome it was. And the day was full of events. President Trump's day in Saudi Arabia, full of events. And yes, he was greeted by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And President Trump, he has a great relationship with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Great relationship. And that is what leaders do. Leaders develop and nurture relationships. And that is what President Trump, as our leader, he does. And when we have strong relationships with our allies, with other countries, that makes us strong. And as I said, in international relationship, in international trade, it can be win-win. It can be a win-win situation. In any bilateral relationship between United States and just pick any country of your choice. Pick an ally like Saudi Arabia. A relationship can be win-win. Trade can be win-win. It doesn't mean, okay, we're doing trade, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. No, that is wrong. That is a wrong way of thinking. It can be win-win situation, and that is what we are going to have with Saudi Arabia, with President Trump in charge. President Trump has great relationship with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and President Trump signed a strategic economic partnership with Saudi Arabia. This is great news. Longdon family is here, so I see Kara is here. Kara, so good to see you. Thank you for being here. All right. Okay, so I see lots of new names. Wonderful. My friends, please make sure that as you are tuning in, subscribe if you have not done so already. Please subscribe and like this video. The number of likes on this video right now, I think it's 10 as I can see it, but it can go up to 20, to 30, to 40, to 50. If you support this channel by hitting the like button, please do so. And be a part of this community, a community of freedom-loving people. So, President Trump signed a strategic economic partnership with Saudi Arabia. Reportedly, this partnership includes a series of deals on things like energy. Yeah, energy is important. Mining, and of course, defense and more. There's more. And this deal, do you know the dollar figure attached to this deal? Any idea? Can anyone make a guess? It's in the billions. It's in the billions. It is in the billions. That's the only clue I'm going to give you. It's not in the millions. It's in the billions. Who can make a guess? Who can make a guess? Billions, yeah? Yeah? 600. $600 billion deal. Wow. Evelyn is saying it's huge. Yes, it is. Jet is here. Hi, Jet. So good to see you, my friends. We are once again gaining momentum right here on this channel. We're gonna grow. We are at just over 13,300 subscribers. I think we are going to get to 20,000. Right. So it's a massive figure. And President Trump is doing great things for our country. And remember, leaders all around the world, presidents and prime ministers and monarchs, they look at President Donald J. Trump and they respect this man. They respect this man. Leaders, heads of states, heads of governments all over the world, they look at Donald Trump and they respect this man. You just have to look at his life, everything he did. Not just the Donald Trump we see in the White House, the Donald Trump we see as our president, but you look at this man and the life that he led, the family that he raised, the success that he enjoyed, the prosperity that he experienced, the battles that he fought, the hurdles that he had to overcome, that he had to cross, the obstacles that he had to cross, all the barriers that were set in front of him, and he had to go through all those barriers. This man is tough. This man is strong. This man, Donald J. Trump, a human being of flesh and blood like us, but with knowledge and experience and leadership that you can't really measure. Everything that he experienced in his life, everything that he went through, all the success, all the failures, all the mistakes, all the lessons that he learned, the corrections that he made. I mean, he's a human being, and no human being is perfect. And no one's saying that Donald Trump did not make mistakes. He did. But what did he do after he realized that he made a mistake? He moved on, he made corrections, and he became a better man. He became a better person. He became a better leader. And we have talked about this right here on this channel. I've talked about President Trump and some of the people that he selected for his administration during his first term in office. And later, President Trump realized that those were not the right people for the jobs. And he fired a bunch of people and he hired new people. So he had to make a lot of changes. So even President Trump will tell you, if you ask him, I'm sure he'll tell you that, yes, he did make mistakes, but he learned from the mistakes and he became a better person, a better leader. So in life, even before entering politics, he enjoyed success. He also saw failures. He made great decisions. He made mistakes. And he moved forward with energy and enthusiasm and patriotism. And that's why we love Donald Trump. He's a genuine man. No one is perfect. No human being is perfect, but he is perfect for the job that he has. That is to be the president of the United States of America. The job that we, the American people, chose him for, to be the president of the United States of America. So when presidents and prime ministers and monarchs and leaders in different countries around the world, when all those leaders, they look at Donald Trump, they respect Donald Trump, they respect this man, they respect the 47th president. People all over the world, they know that when President Trump says something, he means it. He's a man of his words. He means it. He's genuine. When President Trump gives a compliment, it comes from his heart. When President Trump issues a stern warning, that is a genuine warning, and it is not a bluff. And that is why leaders all over the world respect President Donald J. Trump. And his experience and the art of the deal, his art of the deal is helping the United States negotiate and in some cases renegotiate deals worldwide. So if you have not watched President Trump's speech at the US Saudi Investment Forum, I strongly encourage you to watch that speech. Didi is here. Didi, so good to see you. My friends, I see a lot of new names here in the live chat, and that makes me happy. That makes me feel great. That tells me that this community is growing. My friends, will you please make sure, if you are new here, if you are here for the first time, please subscribe. Didi is here. Didi is asking, how are you, Tassif? I'm doing well, Didi. How are things in California? I hope things are well. Thank you for being here. Frank is writing, you're a good man. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate that so very much. So, all right. I'm trying to catch up with the live chat. There are lots of comments coming in. Please make sure that you like this video. Yeah, I also see some not so friendly comments. That's okay. You know what? Those harsh comments don't bother me. Trust me. If you if you know more about me, if you know more about my life and my experience and the things that I've been through, um, my education, if you know my history, you'll know one thing, that harsh comments can't stop me. Can't stop me. Okay. There are some folks here, a small minority. They write all kinds of ridiculous stuff. They have harsh comments aimed at me. Um, they don't just criticize. I mean, criticisms are fine, but people who use really, um, how should I say it in a soft way? Really unpleasant language. Okay. And if those people think that their unpleasant language is going to make me run away, or if they think it's going to make me stop doing these live streams, you are wrong. You are wrong. You know nothing about me. Okay. Uh, so, you know, I'm energized. I'm optimistic. I'm very, very, um, very, very hopeful about our future. Our future as a country, and really the strongest country in the world. So, um, my friends, if you have not watched President Trump's speech at the U.S. Saudi Investment Forum, please watch that speech. It's on YouTube. It's on the internet. You can watch that speech and just look at the video. Look at um, look at the stage that was set, and it will make you proud. It will make you proud if you just look at the stage that was set, the stage on which Donald Trump stood and he addressed the audience. That stage. I mean, you're going to have to see it. Grand stage. Grand stage. My friends, on one side, there was the US flag, the United States flag. And on the other side, the Saudi Arabian flag. And there were very special people in that room. Very, very successful people. Very, very widely known people. There were top leaders present in that venue. Top business people, top leaders in audience. And there was President Donald J. Trump speaking to that amazing, amazing audience. And the world. And the world. There were people in that room, but people from all over the world were watching. And that speech gave me hope. That speech that President Donald J. Trump delivered, it gave me hope. It gave me more optimism. And I'm very hopeful about the future of the United States of America and the future of the strong friendship that we have developed with Saudi Arabia. And I'm very, very hopeful about the future of a peaceful Middle East. We want peace in the Middle East. We want Middle East to be a peaceful place. And we want to have strong alliance with countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and the United Arab Emirates and more. So, my friends, I was reading a fact sheet that the White House published. You can all go and find it. It's on the website, the White House website. And the fact sheet, I've actually printed it out here. It's right in front of me. That fact sheet talks about the historic $600 billion investment commitment in Saudi Arabia. Just read that document. It's so important. I'm gonna read it. It says, today in Saudi Arabia, President Donald J. Trump announced Saudi Arabia's $600 billion commitment to invest in the United States, building economic ties that will endure for generations to come. That is key to remember this. And as I was saying, I think I said it. Did I say it? That maybe not, but I'll say it now. Years from now, decades from now, people will be talking about this trip, yeah, I'm talking about President Trump's trip to the Middle East in the month of May of 2025. This trip, we are watching it in real time, but years from now, decades from now, people will be talking about this trip because it will be written in history. And we will see the result, the outcome of this trip for years and generations to come. Exactly. And that is exactly what the White House is acknowledging in this fact sheet, that President Trump announced Saudi Arabia's $600 billion commitment to invest in the United States, building economic ties that will endure for generations to come. This is amazing. I don't know. My friends, I've been speaking for a while. I do want to hear from you. So please tell me if you support Donald J. Trump. If you do, please write Trump 2025. Or you can say, I love Trump. I support Trump. MAGA, you can say MAGA. You can say Make America Great Again. You can spell it out. Show your support. Show your support. Salmon and Evelyn and Cindy. Who else? Raymond. Who else, my friends? Who else? Who else? Who else? Roxy. Kushi. Ansi. Ansi, good to see you. That's Ansi from New Jersey, right, Ansi? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's Ansi from New Jersey. Frank is writing Trump, Trump, Trump. Absolutely, Frank. Joe is writing Trump, best president ever. I agree. Sharon says MAGA forever. Wickham is a Jackson is saying make America great again. Thank you. Longdon, Kara is saying Trump 2028, 2032, 2036. I love it, Kara. I love that. Master is saying Trump 2025. Great. Wow. This is so amazing. My friends, please make sure that you're liking this video. When you like this video, it helps us reach more people. So thank you so very much. So you got to read this fact sheet that that the White House published. Okay, I was reading this, and there's a lot here. There's a list of deals. It says the following represent just a few of the many transformative deals secured in Saudi Arabia. And then there's a list, okay? There's a list that you can read. Also, here's an important point I'm going to mention. It says, underscoring our commitment to strengthening our defense and security partnership, the United States and Saudi Arabia signed the largest defense sales agreement in history, nearly $142 billion, providing Saudi Arabia with state-of-the-art warfighting equipment and services from over a dozen U.S. defense firms. I mean, that price tag, $142 billion, US dollars. Wow. And it says, I'm not reading each and every line because it's long. And it says, the United States and Saudi Arabia celebrate these and many other deals today as a result of the growing momentum of the last 4 months. The total package has quickly built to more than $600 billion, the largest set of commercial agreements on record between the two countries. So this is going to define the future of the U.S.-Saudi friendship. This is great. This is great. This is great, my friends. And it says here, the United States and Saudi Arabia share a commitment to deeper economic integration, underscoring the kingdom's pledge of expanding cooperation in critical sectors such as health, energy, and science. Amazing. Brad is here. Hello, Brad. Who else is here? Let's see. All right. I'm going to read a little bit more. President Trump is delivering on his promise to make America great again by catalyzing investment and negotiating fair trade deals to accelerate American employment and prosperity. And then I'm going to read another line. It says the $600 billion in Saudi investment in the United States builds on President Trump's record in 2017 of securing billions in commercial deals and agreements with Saudi Arabia for the defense, energy, technology, and infrastructure sectors. So this is a continuation. This is not all brand new. This is a continuation because President Trump, he had built that foundation back in 2017 during his first term in office, and now he is strengthening that foundation, and he's creating a stronger partnership, a stronger friendship between these two countries. It is amazing. It is so great, my friends. I'm so happy. You know, if you are an American and you're watching this video, I want you to understand that you have every reason to be proud of our commander-in-chief. You have every reason to be proud of what the Trump administration is doing. If you voted for Donald J. Trump, you must be proud that you made the right decision at the ballot box if you voted for President Trump. My friends, read that fact sheet. Read that fact sheet. It is available on the website. You go to White House's website. You read that fact sheet. The facts and figures that you'll find are amazing. My friends, this visit to the Middle East is significant, extremely important. And as I said, years from now, people will read about this trip to Saudi Arabia and understand why President Trump did what he did. If there's anyone out there, anyone who's watching, and if you're asking the question, hey, what is the purpose of this visit? If you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, why go to Saudi Arabia? Why go to the Middle East? Why? What's going on? What's the point? Well, my friends, this trip, this Middle East trip, is going to create a pathway for a better future for the United States, for the Middle East, and for the US Saudi friendship. Years from now, people will talk about this trip. Do we not talk about the great things that Ronald Reagan did? Do we not talk about the great things that President Eisenhower did? And going back even further, do we not talk about Abraham Lincoln? Do we not talk about George Washington? Do we not talk about Teddy Roosevelt? We go back dozens of years, we go back decades, we go back hundreds of years, and we talk about the great people whose decisions, whose contributions brought us this far. History cannot be a snapshot. It's a series. Because of all the things that happened, all the things that George Washington did, all the things that Abraham Lincoln did, all the things that Teddy Roosevelt did, all the things that Eisenhower did, all the things that Ronald Reagan did, all the things that the previous presidents did, all the great decisions, all those decisive moments, everything, all those moments together made today possible. So we talk about the great presidents of the past. There are many names. I mentioned just a few. There are many other names. And so 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40, 50, 100 years from now, people will read the history books and they will talk about this trip to the Middle East. You wake up in the morning, you're having your coffee, you're having your breakfast, you're watching TV, you're hearing the news. Then you go out and you do your work, then you have lunch, and then you do the everyday tasks that you must do. And then you get home, you read the news again, you get all the updates, maybe you watch my live streams, and then you go to bed and the next day starts. But for a second, you have to pause. Stop doing what you're doing and understand. Just close your eyes and understand that you are a part of history. You made this possible. You voted for Donald Trump and you made this Middle East trip possible. Think about it. Think very deeply. When you had to make a choice, when you had to decide back in November whether you were going to vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, when you had to make that decision, how fast did you make that decision? For me, it was like, yeah, of course, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. Absolutely. That's what I did. But there were others. There were swing voters, independent voters, undecided voters who said, oh, I don't know. Let me think about it. And then eventually you decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. If you did that, you made this Middle East trip possible. If you voted for Donald Trump in November 2024, you must thank yourself for being a part of this amazing movement that is ongoing. A movement that is making America great again, a movement that is creating a better world. A better world, absolutely. Your decision to vote for Trump, my decision to vote for Trump, all our decisions to vote for Donald J. Trump combined, collectively, we made this movement possible. And everything that happens going forward, all the success, all the glory, all the joy, all the prosperity, you made it possible. I made it possible. We made it possible. It's important to understand that. Very important to understand that. It was a critical juncture. If Kamala Harris would have been elected today, in an alternate reality, just imagine that Kamala Harris is the US president. You know what we would have right now? You know what we would have? We would have severe economic crisis. We would have sky high inflation. Gas prices would probably, here in Wisconsin, would probably surpass, I don't know, $5. Maybe it would surpass $6. I don't know. There would be despair. There would be hardship everywhere. Supply chain crisis, shortage. Our international alliances would be crumbling. But thankfully, the people of this country chose Donald Trump and not Kamala Harris. The people of this country chose Donald Trump and not Kamala Harris. And that is why we have so much of optimism, so much of hope. Great things are happening. We are going to be energy dominant. We are going to be negotiating and signing fair trade deals. The education sector is going to be transformed, and it's going to be one where the younger generation will learn language and math and science. They will learn, they will receive education and become productive individuals in society. My friends, our communities are becoming safer. Our border is secure. Our law enforcement officers are respected once again. Because remember, the Democrats, they are the party of defunding the police. We are the party. We, the freedom-loving people. We believe in supporting our police, but the Democrats believe in defunding the police. So the law enforcement community feels great that President Trump is in charge. Our military is going to be stronger than ever before, and we have a truly amazing, a truly amazing Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. Who loves Pete Hegseth and what he is doing as the Secretary of Defense? If you support Pete Hegseth, please let me know in the live chat. Just write, I support Pete Hegseth. I support Pete Hegseth. My friends, great things are happening in our country. Kushi is writing, I love Pete Hegseth. A viewer, another, it's got she, is it sheep folk? I can't pronounce it, saying, I support Hegseth. Right. Evelyn is saying, I support Pete Hegseth. Wonderful. Thank you, my friends. And I see lots of other comments coming in. Sharice is here. Sharice is saying, I support Hegseth. Wow. Okay. Jet is here. Jet from Pennsylvania. Good to see you, Jet. Terry Vining is saying, I support Pete Hegseth and the entire administration. Exactly. It's not just Hegseth, it is the entire Trump administration that we support. Terry is saying, the best administration ever. I agree. I agree. This is the dream team. This is the dream team. So, my friends, years from now, as I was saying, years from now, people will be talking about President Trump's trip to the Middle East and all his efforts aimed at strengthening our friendship with our allies in the Middle East. And my friends, this trip also includes two more names in addition to Saudi Arabia, and those are Qatar and the United Arab Emirates. And after this trip wraps up, we will have a much better sense of how strong our friendship with these countries will be. The friendship definitely is getting much, much stronger, but we will know a lot more once this trip wraps up. And then again, the question is, what can we do? What can we do to ensure that the Middle East becomes a very peaceful part of the world? I mean, we know that there are different challenges and different crises in the Middle East, but things are changing. There's going to be a lot of peace. There will be tremendous prosperity in the Middle East. And President Trump said it. Okay, I'm going to read to you a quote from President Trump, okay? And you're going to love this. You are going to love this, okay? President Trump said, are you listening? Okay, let me just see if people are listening. Please write, I'm listening. Please write, I'm listening. And I'm going to read to you a quote from President Trump. Shipoke, is it Shipoke? Is that how it's pronounced? Is listening? All right. Frank is listening. Kushi is listening. Tom is listening. Okay, great. Let's move forward here. So President Trump said, before our eyes, a new generation of leaders is transcending the ancient conflicts and tired divisions of the past and forging a future where the Middle East is defined by commerce, not chaos, where it exports technology, not terrorism, and where people of different nations, religions, and creeds are building cities together. So amazing. So amazing. This is commerce, not chaos. Commerce, not chaos. This is the future of the Middle East. Commerce, not chaos. And the friendship between the USA and countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and the United Arab Emirates, these friendships will grow stronger with time. My friends. So great things are happening. Great things are happening. And I know that a lot of people spent the last 4 years under Biden facing hardship, facing hardship. And, you know, people still think about those days between 2021 and 2024, um, the years when Joe Biden was in the White House and the Biden Harris administration, those folks, they were basically ruining our economy. The Biden Harris administration people, they were ruining our economy. They were pushing our economy into a ditch. And the American people suffered tremendously. High gas price, high grocery price, supply chain crisis, lack of safety and security in neighborhoods, mass illegal immigration, taxpayer funded benefits for the illegals. It's just like we saw all that, we went through all that, we experienced all that. And finally, we are hopeful about prosperity once again. Selena is here. Selena, so good to see you. We are going to be energy dominant once again. We are going to be safe again. We are going to be strong again. I'm reading some of the comments here. Give me 1 second. Tom is saying, love Trump. Absolutely, we do. Absolutely, we love Trump. My friends, we are 7 subscribers away from 13,400. Can you believe that? So 7 people who may be watching right now but have not subscribed, will you please subscribe? We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. How long do you think it'll take for us to get to 20,000 subscribers? I think we can do it really fast. 175 people watching right now. That is great. My friends, give me 1 second. I'm just reading comments. When I sit here silently, I'm just reading comments. Okay. So let's do so my friends, let me ask you this question. Have you been to my website? Okay. I'm going to let you all know my website address. If you want to visit, it's up to you. If you go to my website, you'll be able to read my biography read more about me, sign up for my e-newsletter. You can read the articles I've written. You can read my blog posts. You can do all that. So what I did was I wrote my website address, www.tosifanam.net. It's a .net, not .com. I have the .com. I just have not built that website yet. So it's tosifanam.net. And please um, go and check it out if you want. I'm guessing there are a lot of new people who are watching um, this live stream. And so if you want to go check out my website, you can do so. You can read more about me. You can read about the things I did, the articles I wrote. You can listen to my podcast episodes. You can do all that. You don't have to. You don't have to, but it's up to you. So I just shared that website address. Okay. So now, my friends, um, didn't we hear when the Democrats would say that, oh, Trump doesn't like Muslims? Remember? The Democrats, they would say, oh, Trump is anti-Muslim. Have you heard that before? I'm sure you have. Just let me know if you've heard that before. The Democrats, they would say, oh, Trump is anti-Muslim. He doesn't like Muslims. Heard that, right? We heard that so many times. My friends, that's a lie. When the Democrats said that, oh, Trump's going to ban Muslims, that was a lie. When the Democrats said, oh, Trump is anti-Muslim, that was a lie. The Democrats have been lying for a very, very long time. And here's the truth. And I've talked about this before. For those who have been watching my live streams for many months, you know this already. Donald Trump, before the election, he received strong endorsement from Muslim leaders in Michigan. Trump won Michigan. Why do you think he won Michigan? Because the Muslim community in Michigan strongly supported Donald Trump. The Muslim leaders in Michigan stood on stage with Donald Trump and endorsed Mr. Trump, our president. The support that President Trump received from the Muslim leaders and the community members, the Muslim community members, the Arab community in Michigan helped President Trump win the swing state of Michigan. And it also helped President Trump win other states, because there are other voters of the Muslim faith in other states. They collectively supported Donald Trump in November 2024. So all the lies that the Democrats said about Trump being anti-Muslim, well, anyone who's able to think and who's able to see the truth will see the truth. And look, President Trump, out of all the countries in the world, he chose Saudi Arabia as the first country for his official trip of his second term. And this was not the first time, as I said. Saudi Arabia was the first country that he visited for an official trip during his first term. And Saudi Arabia is a Muslim country. Saudi Arabia is a Muslim country. Qatar. President Trump will be visiting Qatar. Qatar is a Muslim country. The United Arab Emirates is a Muslim country. So the first three countries that President Trump is visiting since becoming president again, those first three countries are Muslim countries. Now, obviously, we know that President Trump, after he got um, elected again, it was planned that his first official trip would be Saudi Arabia, but then we know that he visited Europe because of because the Pope passed away, and so that became his first trip to the EU. And President Trump, we are very proud. I must highlight, we are very proud that the Pope is from the United States of America. The new Pope is from the United States of America. So that is so great, and we are so very proud to have the first American Pope. From Chicago. The first American Pope. It is such it is so great and truly wonderful. It's history, it's historic. So, my friends, what the Democrats have done, what the Democrats continue to do is they try to create division, division in society. But President Trump is the president for all Americans, regardless of race, regardless of religion, regardless of color or creed. President Trump is the president for all Americans. I'm reading some of the comments. So, my friends, the true message is that he unites. President Trump unites everyone. President Trump is uniting the Christians and the Jews and the Muslims. President Trump is uniting people, no matter what their race, no matter what their religion. President Trump is bringing people together. And President Trump is promoting freedom. President Trump is promoting prosperity. And President Trump is making America great again. And President Trump is promoting peace all over the world. Do you agree with me, my friends? So when the Democrats, they try to create divisions, don't believe the things they say. When the Democrats try to create division and they say Trump is anti-Muslim or Trump is anti this, anti that, well, Trump is pro-unity. Trump is pro-freedom. Do you agree with me, my friends? And President Trump is creating a very, very strong friendship, a strong relationship with Muslim countries, as we are seeing. So when the Democrats say that he's anti-Muslim, don't believe that. My friends, let me know if you agree with the things I said. Manuel is asking, did you vote for Trump? Yes, I did. I did vote for Trump. I voted for Trump in 2016. I voted for Trump in 2020. And I voted for Trump in 2024. Absolutely. My friends, it is time for unity. It is time to bring people together. That is what President Trump is doing. But the Democrats are still busy trying to create divisions in society. So I think somebody brought up the India-Pakistan conflict. See, okay, we saw in the last few days the heated conflict between India and Pakistan. And I'm not going to go into the history of why the two countries have a conflict, what is the origin of the conflict, what were the different episodes of conflicts that took place over the last many decades. I'm not going to go into the history because then I'm going to have to, we're going to be here for hours, okay? But what I will tell you is whenever there's any hint of conflict, any spark of conflict, President Trump and his administration, they work hard to stop that conflict from growing. They try to promote peace. And that is exactly what the Trump administration did when they saw that there's escalating tension between India and Pakistan. Whenever President Trump and his administration saw, as soon as they saw that there's tension between India and Pakistan, and what would have happened if the tension would have escalated, if the conflict would have escalated further? Lives could have been lost. Dozens, hundreds, thousands, we don't know. We don't know what would have happened if the India-Pakistan conflict would have escalated further. But what the Trump administration did is they stopped the conflict from growing. They stopped the escalation of tension. I'm not here to talk about the India-Pakistan conflict and the history. What I'm focusing on is President Trump is promoting peace around the world. And as soon as there's any spark of conflict anywhere, the Trump administration works to stop that conflict. Now, going back a few years, we saw how the Ukraine-Russia conflict ended up in a full-scale war. the Ukraine-Russia war. But that was when Joe Biden was in office. If we would have had President Trump in power, the Ukraine-Russia conflict would never have escalated to a full-scale war. Do you agree with me, my friends? Do you agree with me? If we would have had President Trump in office, there would be no Ukraine-Russia war. So today, if we would have had Joe Biden in office, it's almost certain that the India-Pakistan conflict would escalate. The temperature would rise. Things would have become much more heated if Joe Biden would have been the president right now. But because we have Donald Trump in the White House, he stopped through dialogue, through conversation, by talking to both countries, he stopped the conflict from escalating. Donald Trump did it. Donald Trump promoted peace. My friends, if you have not subscribed yet, please do so. Please do so, my friends. Um, we are 1 hour, 22 minutes into the live stream. And do you know how many people watched this video so far? Like right now, 118 people are watching because people come and go. And I understand it's a pretty odd time for a lot of people because, it's past midnight in some parts of the country, and it's just late. So I'm going to tell you how many people altogether watched this video so far. 10,000. 10,000. 10,000 viewers in 1 hour and 23 minutes. Okay. So thanks to you for helping this channel regain momentum. Thank you, my friends. 10,000 people have watched this video so far. And thanks to you for making it possible. Evelyn is saying like and subscribe, folks. Please do so. A viewer said I saw 100,000 at one point. Yeah, I had a video several months ago, I believe, that had gotten 105K views. So 105,000 views. That was a hit video. That was a very popular video. It was a live stream. Didi is saying, toss if you make America great. Thank you, Didi. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to say, all right, I need a few more subscribers to get to 13,400. If you are watching this and you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Please subscribe, my friends. Just a few more subscribers to get to 13,400. Okay. Anyone who has not subscribed yet, will you please do so? All right. Okay. By the way, I am eagerly waiting. Okay, and share with me your thoughts on this. Um, I am eagerly waiting for uh, President Trump and Pope Leo to have a meeting. Anyone else? Anyone else eagerly waiting for President Trump and Pope Leo to have a meeting? Kushi is saying yes. Anyone else? I'm so proud, right? We are all so proud that we have an American Pope. You know, so I'm just gonna say this. Um, no matter what faith you belong to, no matter what faith you belong to, I think as Americans, okay, um, yeah, we have the freedom of religion, so you can practice any religion or not practice a religion, whatever your religion is, whatever your faith is. I think as Americans, okay, regardless of faith, I think it's it's truly amazing that the new pope is an American. Okay, so really, because I see some questions, some comments here, so I just wanted to mention that. Okay, so regardless of what faith you follow, if you are an American, and that's all, if you're an American, I think um, you should be happy and proud that the Pope is an American. Okay. See, my friends, we have to we have to look at the bigger picture, the unity. We have to look at unity. President Trump, truly, he is someone who unifies. And I've said this a million times already, and I will probably say it a million more times. Is someone who unifies, regardless of race, regardless of religion, regardless of color of the skin. He unites people. He brings people together. And that is why he had that amazing victory, the electoral college vote victory, the popular vote victory. Okay? The Christians supported President Trump. The Jews supported President Trump. The Muslims supported President Trump. And people from other faiths, other religions, supported President Trump. And people who do not follow a particular faith, they supported President Trump. And that is why he had that massive victory that he had. And that's the truth. The popular vote victory was possible because everyone, regardless of race, religion, color of the skin, supported President Trump. Do you agree with what I said? Do you agree with what I said, my friends? Please let me know. Thank you. So many comments expressing support. Thank you, my friends. I'm trying to catch up with all the comments, and the comments are moving so fast. The comments are moving so fast. Sergio says, keep saying the truth, period. Thank you, Sergio. That is always my goal, is to share the truth, to share the facts. All right. Okay, I'm going to, let's see. Okay, so I had asked a question. President Donald Trump is working hard to promote peace in the Middle East. Do you agree? People overwhelmingly have said yes. Okay, the poll is still open. So if you have not voted yet, please do so. If you have not voted, please do so. The question is, President Donald Trump is working hard to promote peace in the Middle East. Do you agree? Do you agree? And majority said yes. Anyone who has not yet voted, if you have not voted yet, please do so. Share your thoughts. I'm going to keep the poll open for a little longer, and then I will close it, but it's open. Okay. So I do see some folks in the live chat who clearly don't like what I'm saying. If you do not like what I'm saying, just ask yourself, what is it that you do not like? I'm talking about peace. I'm talking about unity. I'm talking about people from different religious backgrounds coming together because we are all Americans. I'm talking about energy dominance. I'm talking about stronger economy. I'm talking about safe communities. I'm talking about border security. Talking about strengthening international alliances. I'm talking about promoting peace. These are the things I'm talking about. And if you do not like to hear all this, um, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Everything that I'm saying right here, it's about promoting peace. So Manuel says Hispanics for Trump. Yes. Yes, Hispanics have tremendously supported Donald J. Trump in November. So, anyway, my friends, let's do a quick recap. President Trump's first official international trip. This is counted as the first official international trip of his second term to Saudi Arabia. Then I think, as I mentioned, he'll be in Qatar, he'll be in UAE, United Arab Emirates, and obviously President Trump in the months and years to come. He is going to be visiting many more countries, and obviously his administration is negotiating trade deals and putting America first. Great things are happening. I'm so optimistic. I'm so hopeful. And I wanted to share my thoughts, my analysis with you all. And you can let me know your comments, your thoughts. I would appreciate that. So please make sure you go to my website, tausifanam.net. And once you're on my website, you can read my blog posts, you can read my published opinion pieces, you can read my biography, a brief one. You can read more about me. You can connect with me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on X, and I'm also on Truth Social. So connect with me, share with me your thoughts, my friends. I'm going to wrap up this live stream. But before I do that, I'm going to end the poll. President Donald Trump is working hard to promote peace in the Middle East. Do you agree? Majority of the respondents have said yes. So thank you so very much. I agree. President Donald Trump is working hard to promote peace in the Middle East. Yes, he is. Yes, he is doing a great job. So with that, my friends, may God bless you all. May God bless our President Donald J. Trump. May God bless the Trump administration. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless our U.S. allies. And may God bless freedom loving people all over the world. With that, I'm going to end this live stream. But please, my friends, make sure that you have subscribed to my channel, and please come back and watch more videos, participate in the live chat during future live streams. Okay. So thank you so very much, everyone. And Evelyn, thank you so very much. All my friends, thank you. Frank, Evelyn, Rachel, um, and so many others. Gina, and I'm missing a whole bunch of names, but you know who you are. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this community. We are going to grow, and we are going to spread the truth. We are going to share the facts, and we will make America great again. Thank you, my friends. Please subscribe, share this video. Selena, thank you so much. Tom, thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. Well, it's morning here. It's past 1 a.m. Have a wonderful morning, and I'll be back again very soon. Thank you, my friends.